Elden Ring's a brand new game, and I've been playing it over the weekend and wanted to build it in Fortnite. So today I'm gonna give my little review on Elden Ring and see if we can make something cool in Fortnite. Okay guys, so first, this is the image I'm gonna be working on while I talk about everything today. Now with this build, I'm gonna be using the haunted galleries a lot for this. And then also, I'm not exactly how I'm going to do this tree yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay, I think the first thing I'm gonna do on this build is work on the bridge and the big tower that's in front of the tree. And just kind of do that first, and then we'll build the big tree behind it, and we'll see how much time we have, see if I can build a lot of the terrain and stuff in front. Okay, so let's talk about Elden Ring for a minute. I've played probably 3 hours of it so far, and honestly guys, I don't know if I have to explain much of what's going on, because even after playing for 3 hours, I feel like you guys probably know just as much as I do about what's going on in the game. So first of all, it's an open world RPG game, similar to like Zelda Breath of the Wild, or if you've ever played the Dark Souls games, it's basically that, but it's open world. Now, I've never personally ever played the Dark Souls games, so this is a new experience for me in that world where it's like super hard. Their whole like deal is being extra hard, but this game is absolutely stunning. It is really beautiful. Like, I love the environments, I love the castles, I love basically everything about how it looks. It's just stunning. So it's definitely a 10 out of 10 on the visuals. I mean, it is really beautiful. The gameplay is really fun. What really makes Dark Souls and this game as well unique is how difficult it is and their boss fights. Their boss fights are truly epic. I don't know if there's many games out there that really focus in on the boss fights quite like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I would love if creative mode somehow were able to get some sort of like a boss device or something where we can make unique bosses that are really challenging and have unique moves. I just think that'd be super cool. And I feel like there's a lot of games out there that kind of miss the boat on boss fight. So Elden Ring and the Dark Souls games do an excellent job of that. Probably better than any game out there. Everything feels really smooth. They give you a horse so you can travel faster in the game, pretty much right at the beginning of the game. So you're not completely just stuck going slow everywhere. So I love that. But at this point in my playthrough of it, I'm really struggling, guys. So first of all, there's not really a good tutorial on how to like play the game. I feel like they just assume you've played the Dark Souls game and you know the controls and you're experienced in everything that they want you to do, and I am not that player. So I had to look at a lot of like YouTube videos and things on like how to play. I feel like if your map or something like it, that if you're building, they have to look up a YouTube on how to do it, you've probably missed the boat. So I feel like casual players like myself who are picking this up for the first time are really gonna struggle with it. It's because it doesn't really teach you what to do. So then, after not really teaching you what to do, they throw you into this world that is truly massive. Like, guys, this place is huge. And then, right off the bat, there are enemies in there that are insanely hard. Like, they kill you instantly, and you just kind of have to run around them, and you don't really know that you're supposed to run around them, but you're kind of forced to anyway, because they're just way too hard. And I can appreciate the difficulty of it, but it's really, really hard. But I like a challenge, and it was fun as you got into some of the easier parts where you could fight people that were more on your level, but even those guys were really tough, and I died a lot, but I'm okay with that. I think the main problem was I never really knew what to do, which is fine with an open world. You don't have to handhold me through it all, but there's no way to even know where to go even a little bit. There's some little bits of stories that I kind of pick up on, but for a new player getting into this, they're so worried about, you know, just surviving, like getting through the world, that it's hard to pay attention to any story that's going on. I feel like they just ramp it up way too fast at the beginning, especially for new players. I think for experienced players coming into this, they're probably like, yes, this is awesome. But for inexperienced players like myself, we're just completely lost. And I feel like they're gonna lose a lot of people just because they don't know what the heck's going on. While I feel like I don't know what's going on, I can't stop thinking about the game. Like, I'll go back to play it for a few minutes, and then after about 20 minutes, I get so enraged, I have to quit. I'm just really struggling to get into the game because it's just so hard at the beginning, and I'm such a noob at all of the controls and like magic system and everything that I can't really get into it. One of the things I love about Breath of the Wild is that it was pretty easy to know what to do at the beginning, and the systems on it weren't so complex like they are in Elden Ring that you couldn't pick it up. Now, I know this is a very different game than Breath of the Wild, but at least in Breath of the Wild, you kind of knew where you were going, even though you could go and explore whatever you wanted. And one thing I wish Elden Ring had was just some sort of like a beacon or something to say, hey, this this is where you need to go to continue the story, but you don't have to. You can go and do whatever you want in the meantime. I think it's desperately needing something like that, especially for the casual player base like myself. Okay, what do you think of our bridge so far? I think it's looking pretty good. Now I just need to like copy some of these sections and make it a little longer, and I think we should be done with the bridge for the most part. I didn't really complete everything on this just because you're only going to be looking at it from a distance, but for an aesthetic build, this is looking good. Oh yeah, that's looking good, guys. All right, the bridge is pretty much done then. I do need to build the tower that's over here. I'm hoping I have enough room for the tree back here. I'm worried I built too close to the edge of the map, but it is what it is now. I'm not stopping where I'm at. Okay, so just a couple more thoughts on Elden Ring before I just focus on this build. Like I said before, I still think about the game when I'm not playing it. And while, yes, I get enraged when I come back and play for a few minutes, I still want to be good at this game. So that's a really good sign to me that this game is actually fun. I just need to figure it out. I just wish there were a few things in it that would help newer players really immerse themselves into it. So am I going to recommend this game for you guys to go and play and check out? I would have to say yes. Now, it is a mature game. It is violent. I mean, it's not made for kids, but it is really cool, and I am excited to play more of it. Just be prepared for some pain and a big learning curve. All right, let's really focus on this build now. I'm working on the tower here. I just did a big circle trick, and it's not my best circle trick ever, but it's gonna do for what we want here. Okay, there we go. Tower's done. I feel fine about it. One big problem with this though right now is that it's almost max height, and the tree is so much taller than this tower. So I'm not exactly sure how to get around that. But let's move to the tree and see if we can figure it out. Okay, so this is like the best tree in the game, and if I blow this all the way up, it's still gonna be way too small for what we want here. But let's just see what this looks like when it's up there. And this could work. The trunk is like so huge on the tree. I just don't know. And I can't put it any higher than right. Like that's as high as I can make it right there. Versus if I use this like big bush here for like a tree top, I can have a little bit more latitude on where I place it. I might just have to go with the completely custom tree. Now I need to make sure I can light this on fire. I'm pretty sure I can, but the top of this tree is all on fire. So I'm just gonna test this out real quick. Let's set this on fire. Come on. Oh yes, good. Okay, this can all be on fire. That is great. So there's not a lot of options for a giant tree here, and I made this huge trunk and it just looked so awful to me. I had to delete it. So I took this branch and made a half tree out of it, taking it all the way to the top, and it didn't look that much better, but it was what it was. And after making huge branches and putting some trees on the top, I felt like, well, you can just listen. Okay, guys, this is not perfect by any means, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna put some lights around this to make it really bright and yellow when we're close to it at least. It definitely has that nice glow to it, but as soon as I back away, you can see the branches. I mean, it's just gone. Oh, please work in replay mode. And then I'm gonna try to just set the whole top of the tree on fire and have prop manipulation devices to keep it from burning. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we're gonna try it. Okay, well, this looks kind of cool. Definitely looks cool up close. Not so great from a distance. This is gonna be really hard to replicate this tree. Oh my gosh. So I just decided to work on the terrain and forget the tree for a little bit, throwing in some rocks and ruins and trees, and this actually started to look pretty decent. Right, that view right there actually isn't terrible. I'm gonna set this all on fire, and then let's go look at it in replay mode. For some reason, the fire is not burning in replay mode. Dang, that stinks. And when I back away in replay mode, it still loses its glow. Elden Ring's hard even in Fortnite!